Well, let's learn more about this right now and cross live to our guest. You can take this conversation further here on RT International. We've got Femi Oladele, who's joining us here on RT International, a financial economist. We can take this conversation further. We've also got Ravi Srivastava, who's joining us here on RT, a cyber law expert. Ravi, I'm going to start with you because we've just lost the connection with our previous guest. But if I may, considering Binance has agreed to freeze suspicious accounts on the request of Israeli law enforcement, what do you make of the cryptocurrency facing legal action now?
It is really unfortunate that a vast sum of $93 million and from Israel also for $41 million were deposited in last 6 years from 2017 to 23. But as far as Binance is concerned, that these platforms of cryptocurrency are playing havoc with the lives of people. These platforms are being used by money launderers, arms dealers, terror funding, narcotics, drug money, all those things. There are no genuine transactions and people are transacting money through these platforms. So the restrictions against Binance, because in India, these crypto platforms, they are taxed at the rate of 1%, whatever the total transaction is there. So they are identified. In the worst part in these crypto platforms is that the giver and the taker are not identified. We call it almost a hawala transaction where both the parties are invisible, anonymous transactions. Who is paying whom, you do not know. But the bad money, the ill money is getting into the system and trying to help the people from both sides. I would say whether the Hamas side or whether from the people from the Israel side. But this is really very unfortunate that the families of the hostages, killed, maimed American people in Israel during the Hamas attack, they have moved the court in the United States. And I wish they get the justice, because such platforms, they must disclose to the regulatory authorities and give the complete details of where the money is coming from. In our country, it is totally prohibited. And these platforms are not legally operating in India as such. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very fair comment from you, Ravi. I appreciate you saying that. But, it does seem that Binance is being singled out. I mean, why do you think the families of the Hamas victims are choosing to single out Binance in this case? Do you think Binance is the only one who's potentially involved in this?
Primarily, the finance is used for various other activities. It is for the procurement of arms, the procurement of machine guns, and the procurement of other ammunition, etc. So that the money is used, for all such activities. And these platforms who facilitate such transactions are really should be brought to check, and the regulator must take an action against them. Yeah.
Do you think there are any ways to prove that Binance was perhaps knowingly supporting these financial operations linked to Hamas?
It appears, I think, the proper investigation and the proper, identification of the people who are all funding them must be exposed. And I think if the matter goes to the court, probably some inquiry will be established into this act, that how this money was flowing in and who are the people who are, perpetrating this kind of violence, or rather adding to it the fuel to fire and providing assistance, financial assistance to the radical groups.
What do you think? I mean, if Binance cracks down on all of the accounts linked to so-called militant groups, what effect do you think, Ravi, it could have on the global crypto market? Because right now, as you know, a lot of people are very nervous about the state of the world economy. A lot of people are buying gold. A lot of central governments are buying gold. A lot of everyday Joes and Janes are buying cryptocurrencies. Do you think there could be some sort of blowback on this?
My gut feeling is that, these platforms of the Bitcoin or the Ethereum or, Coinbase or Kraken, all these have got the Chinese CEOs by and large. I won't say the all, but then most of them have got the Chinese CEOs. And these platforms are not dealing into any kind of a fair money. I would say the genuine transactions. People are using these platforms for the ill-gotten purposes, like I mentioned in the beginning that money laundering or terror funding and financing the radical groups in various countries. Where these operations are happening, whether it is ISIS or whether it is terror funding into India or whether the terror funding into Israel-Hamas war, which is ongoing for last 4 months. It is happening practically everywhere. It is wherever such groups are, radical groups are working. I think these exchanges are doing it. Out of which Binance is considered to be a safer one because it uses the blockchain technology of the cyber security. So it is considered to be relatively more secured money as compared to other platforms. So I think Binance is the main culprit. Yeah.
All right, Ravi, just stand by for a second. I think we've managed to re-establish the connection with Femi Oladele, financial economist, also joining us here for this conversation on RT. Femi, we finally got you back. Thank goodness. Technology, my friend, is not always perfect these days, but I appreciate you getting back in just in time. What do you think, Femi? I mean, Binance, it's one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. I mean, do you think its popularity could influence the trial, or do you think its popularity could now take a hit?
So thank you for that question. Normally, anything that is popular would definitely be in the eye of the storm always. And so I believe that their popularity and their expansion also is significant with respect to what they are currently facing. And, the fact that the population is getting younger in many African countries, for example, the way that young people are attracted to cryptocurrencies right now is also expanding the reach of Binance. So I believe that that's significant for their current issues that they're having and challenges.
I guess one thing would be, look, Israel and Netanyahu was calling for the shutting down of the UNRWA, the UN program for the protection and help for Palestinian refugees. A lot of money right there goes to Palestinians. It's now being cut off. In fact, Palestinians really, as I understand, they have little or no way of getting any money to deal with one of the worst humanitarian crises in recent history. Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's bad, Femi, that Palestinians or even the militant wing of Hamas have used cryptocurrency platforms to get money? Perhaps, maybe as Ravi was saying, maybe they want to get weapons, but what about food, water, fuel, basic services? Your thoughts?
Yeah, so basically, I hold the opinion that there is no policy, no strategy that is waterproof. No matter how good something is, there will always be a certain percentage of misuse. And so humanitarian assistance is significant. And in every kind of war situation, I would always campaign that we should give people access to resources to buy their needs, especially food and clothing, which are necessary for life. So I wouldn't say that using Binance to acquire those things are wrong, but like I mentioned earlier, there is no way that if there is an avenue to use Binance to get essentials, that other people will not explore that to get other things such as weapons and other things that can be used for mass destruction. So I'm really at the middle right now to say, let's give access so that people can have access to food and clothing and all other essentials, and also do our best to ensure that those who would want to misuse the platform are unable to misuse the platform.
Yeah, I think, Femi, that's a great statement. Let's throw the closing word back to Ravi, because Ravi, you and me were all over this a few minutes ago before Femi finally got on the line here. But you were suggesting that a lot of crypto dealings, it's almost like the black market or the dark web. People are using it for various nefarious means, weapons or drugs or whatever it is. But after what Femi just said, Ravi, do you see some kind of middle ground there for support? I mean, people trying to get, food and fuel and water, perhaps using these crypto platforms?
I differ with Femi to the extent that that what he's saying, cryptocurrency can be used for the good reasons as well, providing food, shelter, medicines, and so many other things. I would like to tell my friend, you don't have to use a Binance platform or a Bitcoin or any such cryptocurrency for that purpose. There are always legal means for providing any money for these kind of relief activities. After all, Red Cross does it. The many other relief organizations worldwide, they provide these relief to the people who are affected in the war or such situations, that they don't need a cryptocurrency for that matter. I differ with him that cryptocurrency by and large used for all nefarious activities to destabilize the nations by providing assistance to the radical groups and the other opposition groups over there to for all kind of wrong reasons, I would say. Yeah.
All right, yeah, fair play, fair play. I appreciate that, Ravi. All right, let's give the final statement to Femi over here, just to get you in time here, mate. I mean, look, Binance, okay, potentially people have been using Binance to get illicit things into Gaza and the enclave at a time of war, after more than 3 months of war now. But it does seem today, if you're even a journalist or a businessman, if you voice a pro-Palestinian position, you can get punished for that. But if you're pro-Israeli, you never face any punishment. Is it possible that Binance is in the crosshairs now because Palestinians have been using it for their own advantage, whereas if it were Israelis using Binance, there wouldn't be such an issue? Femi, you've got 30 seconds to answer this.
Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, I would
30.
say that basically, whenever there are issues like this, there are alignments, and people would align with perception. You know, perception usually turns out to become real in most instances. So we can lean towards the left or the right, depending on the side of the argument that we're trying to forge and push. But I would say that in as much as I have bias against the use of Binance, I see that they are also upping their games with regards to compliance. So, for example, they just recently rehired Steve Christie, and they're also trying to monitor global money laundering. So, if we say that it's because more Palestinians are using it, if we turn the table and Israelis are using it, Palestinians also would complain. So it's both-sided, and it depends on which side of the argument you are taking it from.
Oh, I think that's a great statement right there. A great closing statement from Femi Oladele, a financial economist, but also our other guest, a cyber law expert, Ravi Srivastava. Gentlemen, both of you, it's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.